What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the No Quit Podcast. I'm back over here today with another gym owner by the name of Juan, owner of 10th Planet in Goodyear. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu as well. You want to say what's up, brother?
Hey guys.
Awesome. But yeah, no, it's exciting to have you here, man. You have, a lot of experience when it comes to jiu-jitsu and martial arts. And you coming on here, it's really nice to be able to share with them what 10 Planet is about and a little bit about you. But yeah, man, just to get us started here, I wanted to ask you a question. So I know you're from Yuma,
Yeah.
Arizona. So you've been in Arizona how long now?
It's my whole life. 35 years.
35 years. So you were born there, but then they shipped you over here.
Yeah, I got told to come up here, my parents. Yeah.
So the reason because you used to train in Yuma, right?
Yeah, that's where I first started off, right there.
Cool, man.
Yeah. I was at a gym for probably like 6 months. Just out of high school, like I didn't have anything to do, and I was just like, I never had something like to do, because I was like, all right, I'm just gonna get ready for football next year. I'm gonna get ready for football, whether it's lifting. And then after high school, it was just more of like, well, what the fuck do I do now? Like, I don't have any sports to play. I don't have any like kind of direction. And then this dude I used to hang out with, Josh, he was fighting. Like he wrestled in high school, and we hung around or whatever. And then he started taking fights in Mexicali because we were on the border. And so he'd go to Mexico and get his fights in. And then he invited me to go train with him one day. And then went to it. My buddy Gabe, he lives in Maricopa now. He's like an older brother to me. He owned the gym, and then I started training there for like 6-7 months. Okay. Moved back up here, and I got fat, and I was like, dude, I need to start doing something. I'm getting too fat. Yeah.
So in Yuma, you trained, what was it, jiu-jitsu for like 6 months?
It was an MMA gym. Yeah.
MMA gym?
Yeah, we would train jiu-jitsu twice a week, boxing twice a week, wrestling, Muay Thai, pretty much just everything. But yeah.
Nice, man. So that was the beginning of your journey with martial arts after high school?
Yeah. I just played football. I didn't do karate or anything like that, or wrestling. Like I should have wrestled like when I was in high school over here. The school that I was at, they won state 3 years in a row. They won my sophomore, junior, and senior year. Like I wasn't there those last 2 years, but
okay.
But yeah, they were really good.
That's cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, take us back to that memory that you might have still when you in your mind, that moment when martial arts triggered something in your mind, telling you like, okay, I'm actually gonna be involved for this now, like my whole life.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't say like it's one instance, but I knew like I liked it, and I was just like I said, it stimulates me, and it's like I don't get bored with it. There's always something to do, whether it's learning how to wrestle or pass or leg locks or whatever it is. It's just always something to do. There's always a new way to do the same thing, and you just try to get more creative with the ways you do it. And then once you start figuring that out, people start figuring out a defense. And I just like the whole concept of like just a puzzle, and you're always just trying to like figure it out as it going through. Yeah. And so that's always like, I don't know, it's like how people can just play chess for their whole life. It's kind of like the same thing as like you always hear is like, oh, it's like human chess or whatever, so.
Yeah, no, that's true, man. Basically, when it comes to especially jiu-jitsu, right? There's like, it just never ends, like the learning there. It's a big variety of what you can do when it comes to, the moves and technique and everything, right?
Yeah, like it's never ending, and it's just like, you might start to figure things out, but then a new like wave, a new meta might start coming around, so it's just like, oh, I got really good guard, but now it's all about like wrestling and guard passing. Oh, you learn that, but it's like, oh, now leg locks are taking over. And it just goes through like phases, everything's cyclical. It'll always come back, but it just goes on to like different patterns, and it starts to grow from there,
Yeah, now, man. And I mean, you started after high school. This is what class were you of? What year?
2008.
2009.
No,
Wow.
8.
Oh, 2008.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we're getting close to like those 20 years. Like you've been in the game for like almost 2 decades then.
I wouldn't say that. Like, well, no, because I did that, maybe it was 19, then I started training.
Okay.
I would say it was 19, and then I trained for about half a year, 6-7 months, and then I took like a year off, and I just partied and got fat, and then been doing jiu-jitsu, I think, 14 years now. Like, from John, when I started, was 14 years on, till now, yeah.
Oh, okay,
like
so that's
14,
when you started
15 years.
with John. Like, what year again?
That was 2012, I think.
2012. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man. And John gave you your
Or
black
2012, yeah.
Cool. 2012.
Mm-hmm.
What year did you get your black belt?
I think 2021 2021, I think.
Okay, yeah, you did mention that earlier.
Yeah.
2021, we're
Yeah.
at 2026 now, 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to that, man, because you did bring up
No,
John.
actually, no, I lied. It couldn't be that one. It had to be 2022.
Okay,
Yeah,
2022.
2022. Yeah.
It happens, man. You're in the grind.
Yeah, dude. I can't remember, dude.
Yeah,
I'm dumb as
man.
hell. So.
Bro, I don't even expect you to remember
Mm,
things like that, man. You're the owner of 10 Planet, bro. I mean,
mm.
I can't imagine the
Yeah,
schedule and the
yeah.
life you have. So again,
I want
like,
to 10 Planet Goodyear though. I'm like,
Goodyear,
yeah. We try to associate that. Yeah, Eddie's the owner. Yeah, I don't.
yeah, and now Eddie Bravo,
Mm,
is a big influence. I'm sure for you too.
mm,
So we're not taking away anything from him.
mm.
Obviously you're the Goodyear location owner. Goodyear.
Yeah, Goodyear.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about John, man. So you
Mm,
trained under John Botello and then became a training or a morning instructor at 10 Planet Phoenix. I'm not
mm,
sure if it was just morning, but
mm.
what's the biggest lesson or mindset shift those years taught you before stepping into ownership?
I think like patience was like the first off like a big thing. It was just like figuring out because like in my head like when I would do something I would just do it and I wouldn't really think about like why I'm doing things. I would just do them like naturally. Like I was like, oh, this is how I do an armbar. This is how I do an escape. This is how I do a pass. Whatever it is, and then you got to figure out like what's my right hand doing? What's my
Yeah.
left hand doing? Where's my weight focusing? Where's my balance in? And just like you start to like think about things on like the easiest way to do them, to explain them. I think instead of like super complex. And then you just start to figure out things like that. Because in my head, I was just like, all right, we're just going to put our knee here. And then you just slide through. But it's just like, all right, but what's your right hand doing? What's your hips doing? What's the next move? What's your left hand doing? Just things like that. Like, where it's just like, you got to think of like being patient with people learning new things. Because in your head, you've been doing them for however long. And then now it's just like, this guy's been doing it for a week. Like, you have to be really patient with things like that. And you got to break them down to like the simplest form so they can digest it, but not get bored with it at the same time. And I think that was like the hardest thing. Like I wouldn't say the hardest thing, but that was like the first thing like I had to like
Yeah.
figure out,
Absolutely, man. So one big thing was patience for sure
Hmm.
that you were able to build from all the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, and it comes with anything else, right? Like everything we do, if you have patience, you'll be more successful, right? So,
Hmm.
and I know martial arts will definitely help you become patient if you're not, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, thanks for sharing, brother. I do
Hmm.
appreciate that. So that was just a little bit about your experience there with John Botello
Hmm.
and what you got out of it. So thank you for sharing that.
Hmm.
Now going back to a little bit about 10th Planet and the philosophy and everything with that behind 10th Planet. I know Eddie Bravo is the one that kind of started everything.
Hmm.
So Eddie Bravo's system is all about like normally no gi modern MMA focused jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So how do you make that practical and accessible for brand new students that are walking into the gym?
To be honest, I think that's where he started off from was like more like he would always say he's like he was starting all of his new moves just to like get ready for MMA because in his head he was gonna go to MMA, and then luckily jiu-jitsu worked out for him, and then he kind of just stayed on jiu-jitsu. But I mean, especially like nowadays, I mean that's like where it began, like where Eddie was getting ready for MMA. So obviously you don't wear gi for MMA, so you're gonna do all no gi techniques. And then now it's more of like a sport base, I would think. More people do jiu-jitsu for sport just because it's fun. It's just a hobby, just something to work out with instead of like lifting weights or running or doing whatever. It's just more of it just keeps you stimulated a little bit more. But I don't know. I would say like, I don't know, just the whole culture that like Eddie set like from day one was very like he's very like he's not like authoritative.
Yeah.
I'm saying that wrong, but
No, you're good, man.
but no, but where like he lets you like explore things. If you're having like all right, like yeah, Eddie wanted to explore throwing his legs up high, and then eventually became the rubber guard, and then developed the whole system around that. And I was like the same thing with John when we were at Phoenix and leg locks barely started to come up. With Donaher and all those guys. He let us play with them. He was never like, no, you can't do that, And that was like one of the things that like attracted me with 10th Planet was they're very like laid back and they'll let you play with things and be creative. And I think that's like a really big like factor that brought me to 10th Planet just in general instead of going to like any other schools around was that they're very like, yeah, like this is what I'm going to show you, but you're going to be able to develop it in whatever way you want. And if you want to start to do something weird, like at the time just going to Ashi into X guard into double outside Ashi or something like that, it was just like you can do that. John was cool with it, and Eddie was always been cool with it. Eddie was just like never like, no, don't do that, it doesn't work or anything like that. Or and that's what I really liked like about the standard that like Eddie kind of put, and then John also carried that with him at his school, which I try to carry now at Goodyear, where it's just like guys will try new things, and you know, I'll make fun of them for it, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Like, but I like that they're trying new things because eventually, like, it's not working right now, but it'll eventually they'll get it to work, or they'll find something that works for them, and then they'll stick with that, and that'll be, you know, a thing that they're good at.
Everybody has like their different skills and techniques, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's to do with body type and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like 10th Planet, you'll get guys that are like Ben Eddy, who are like just tall and long, and they can do crazy rubber guard things. You might get guys that are short and stout that are just top power pressure, and it's just like you got to figure out like what works best for your body type. What works best for me is going to work best for the next guy, and you know, just got to slowly figure things out by yourself, you know.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and what I enjoy about what you're doing at 10 Planet is that you started to add wrestling now to it, right?
Yeah, I think you have to add wrestling, yeah. Especially like if you want to be competitive with other gyms, like wrestling is super important. Like you have to learn it. Like when like me is like I hate wrestling just because it's so tiring, especially the older I get. But in order for me to be a successful coach, I need to learn how to do it. And I need to be able to teach guys to do it, as well as like I have other guys at like, you know, wrestling college that also teach their wrestling. So they're better coaches at wrestling than me. But it's like I'm learning from them as well as them teaching all of us, plus me trying to figure it out, you know, as you go through. And it's like you have to learn wrestling. You got to know all. It's, you know, it's as much as like I'm not like I wouldn't say I'm a martial artist, but it's like the art form is you got to learn how to like play off your back. You got to learn leg locks. You got to learn passing, and wrestling is also part of that. Like if you're a martial artist, if you want to claim you're a martial artist, you don't know how to wrestle, like you're not really like a martial artist. Like you need to do all the aspects, you know, at least with grappling, I would say, you know.
Okay, so you just feel like you can't fully be a martial artist if you just do jiu-jitsu itself.
Well, I think it's just. I think you should be complete. I wouldn't say you're not a martial artist. I shouldn't have said that. I would say you're not complete. Like you should be able to wrestle. You should be able to stand up. Yeah.
Okay. It's definitely like something needed for sure.
Yeah, you're just the. I wouldn't say I shouldn't have said that. You're just incomplete. You should be able to do legs, pass, have a good guard, sweep, top pressure. You should be able to like focus on being well-rounded instead of just being very. You know, at one different thing.
But that's great.
Specialize in one
different
thing.
Like being well-rounded. So you're obviously still a martial artist because you practice martial arts.
Yeah.
Right? But like being well-rounded and everything is probably gonna be it's gonna push you more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's like I don't know, people get lost into. It's like people will get frustrated, and especially like new people will come in and they'll just get smashed for however long, and then they'll finally figure out something that works for them, and they'll just spam that the whole time. But it's just like you're gonna have to turn on to like whatever. Like if a white belt comes in and he figures out how to go Ashi and just heel hook everybody, and he starts to do that to everybody, he's cool with it. But once people start to figure it out, then he has to change his game to a whole something else, and it's just like, fuck, now I gotta learn how to like wrestle or pass the guard or sweep or whatever. And like that's when guys start getting frustrated when they have to re-figure out how to win again. Okay. And that's what like frustrates a lot of people, I think, like when they start hitting plateaus and stuff like that.
That makes sense, man, because if you just focus on that one strength you have, you know, people will catch up to it. Huh?
Yeah, people will figure it out. Like people will always figure it out, and that's kind of like the beauty thing is just like where like I'll figure like even like with the wrestlers that we have at the gym, like I'll start to slowly figure out things that they'll do, and then they'll just switch on to something else, and it's just like, fuck, I stopped this thing, but now I got this thing to worry about, you know. And it's just like you're just slowly like you're trying to figure them out the whole time, you know. And it's just like it's for me that's the fun part where you can either get frustrated with it because you're just like, God damn it, he keeps doing the same thing, same result. But it's just like eventually you're gonna slowly figure out their game, and then that's when you start to figure out the puzzle, you know, where it's just like, all right, I stopped this thing now this thing's coming. Now it's just like now that I stopped this thing, you know another thing's coming, but it's like you got to figure it out and look to game plan around it, you know, and stuff like that. And I think that's the fun part with jiu-jitsu. At least for me, that's why I like it.
Absolutely, you know? Man. The fact that there's such a variety of things yet when you're probably rolling with somebody so well-rounded, it's probably just so different compared to someone who's just focused on maybe jiu-jitsu itself, no wrestling.
Yeah, it's completely different. Like if you get a guy that has like just straight wrestling and you're just like, all right, like, yeah, he's eventually going to take me down, but then I was like, I'm going to sweep him and tap him real quick. But it's just like, I want to figure out how he took me down. And like, that's the part that I want to learn. Or if you get a guy that's like straight jiu-jitsu, like he just pulls guard and it's just like, all right, damn, I can't get past his guard. Like you can wrestle better than him or maybe go leg locks, but it's just like, but I want to learn how to pass his guard. So I'm going to try to figure this out, how to, you know. And I think that's the part that people like, I don't really get frustrated with, which I think that's the fun part in it, but I don't know.
It can be frustrated, I'm sure, especially when they switch up and you're just like, yo, like you already were expecting to prevent something from happening, but they switched up to something different. So. Yeah,
and then people get frustrated with that a lot, which is, you know, it's unfortunate, but I mean, it's
part of the game, right?
That's all it is. It's just part of the game, you know.
So, I know there's a lot of people who have misconceptions when it comes to training martial arts and jiu-jitsu.
Mm.
What would you say is one of the biggest fear or misconceptions you hear from people before they start training, man?
They have to get in shape to go to the gym, which was funny because it's like, oh, I would like to come, but I'm out of shape, or I'm not in shape yet, and just whatever bullshit it is, and just like just come, dude. Like that's what it is. That or the fear that it's like a most MMA gyms are like bro gyms, where it's like jiu-jitsu gyms and MMA gyms are like, for the most part, their cultures are completely different. If you go to MMA gyms, they're more of like, I wouldn't say like bro status, but they're very aggressive because you need to be for MMA. That's what, you have to be aggressive. With jiu-jitsu guys are more laid back and stuff like that. So I mean, that's like, I think people that don't know either culture, they think of like, when they think of jiu-jitsu, they think of like UFC and people fucking hitting each other and doing all that crazy shit, which is cool and fun to watch. I love MMA and stuff like that. But I mean, that's where I started off from. But I think people think that that's how it is every single day, when it's just like, no, you go to jiu-jitsu gyms, it's mostly like autistic dudes that are fucking dorks that just love jiu-jitsu, and like, that's for the most part, that's all it is, really. And it's not so much like tough guys that come in and just want to fight and fuck people up and shit like that, where it's just like, I just think it's scary too. You're walking into a gym and you're just a bunch of new people, a bunch of dudes and shit like that, and it's just like you're trying to figure out like, oh, do they like me, do they not like me, and you're afraid to like touch somebody or grab somebody, and I was like, dude, we're gonna be doing this shit for the next hour and a half, so get used to it, and I think that's like a big thing, especially like with women. I can see them like having problems with that, and like, but just guys are the same way too, where it's just like they're just nervous or like in a new environment with a bunch of people that they don't know, and they're about to do something physical, which most people don't ever do anything physical with somebody else,
Yeah, most people don't, man. It's unfortunate. But that's well said, man. Honestly, I like that. So just do it. I mean, you don't have to be in best shape to walk into the gym and see what it's like and maybe get a class in. Like, then you really find out like if something you want to do,
Yeah.
So that's good, man. Honestly, 10 Planet Goodyear guys, definitely want to shout them out. Check them out if you're on defense. Very humble man here. He's the owner, Juan. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it, man. So another question I wanted to ask you here, man. So how do you make people feel welcome when they think they're too old, out of shape, or not athletic?
To be honest, just talking to people is like the easiest way to make them feel comfortable. I think it's just like when you come in, like when you start having somebody, especially like me as the owner, like I'm trying to be the first person to greet you at the door, and then I think like me as the owner, I have to set the example. If I'm going up and talking to everybody that's coming through the door, it should be all the guys that are like, oh, he's doing it, I should do that too as well, So that's like one of the things where it's just like, just from leadership, like if you're going to a gym and you never meet the head coach or he's not talking to you and stuff like that, I think that's like something that like I would like if I came to like a new gym and stuff like that. Like when I was a white belt, luckily John did that for me. Well, he wasn't there the first day, Steely, but then when John came back the next day, he was there. But that's what I feel like it should be. Just talking to him, getting to know him and stuff like that. Just don't make it feel like a business transaction. Like when you're coming in, if they're giving me money for a product, I don't want it to just feel like, all right, you gave me this amount of money, like I'm teaching you. Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is just don't make people feel like a number. And like that's like, one of my friends, Daniel, he trains at Toquinho's in Soul Fighters in Tempe. He told me that he's like, a lot of people don't remember like what you talked to them about the first time you meet them, but they remember how you made them feel. Yeah. And like that always stuck with me when he said that, because I was just like, that is how like I always feel about people, like I don't remember like the first time I talked to somebody or what it was even about, but I was like, I remember like I like this person,
Sure,
like I remember how they made me feel, and that's always been like something that always stuck with me. And so when like new people come to the door, it's like I'm always like trying to make them, make their first experience, feel welcome and stuff like that, and I figure like that's like the easiest thing to do, but it's neglected a lot,
It is. It can be neglected because, sometimes we can be very self-centered, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just has to do with, being selfish because we are busy. You're obviously an owner of the business, and you still being that way shows a lot, man. From the beginning, when Juan walked in today, when I walked in because he was waiting here, I appreciate you for that.
You're welcome.
I felt the energy right away, man. Positive energy, and it shows a lot. You're obviously the owner of the gym, and people love it there. You guys have a great reputation at 10 Planet, and it comes a lot from the owner, so it's obvious on why it's that way. So for the most part, man. I'm sure you make people feel welcome there, and I like how you said like just talking to them, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just that simple, like, and that's true because you make them feel involved, right? They're
Yeah.
involved, and they feel important because they're meeting the owner.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great, man. Honestly.
Yeah, that's like a big thing too. It's just like I'm no better than anybody else, so it's just like, especially like with jiu-jitsu, it's like it's very like a hierarchy. Like the gym owner's the top guy, and like you want to talk to him and stuff like that. And it's just like, dude, it's like
I'm
I'm
just
a regular human being, dude.
yeah,
Like I'm gonna fuck up and make mistakes all the fucking time. Like
yeah,
I'm better at you than jiu-jitsu, not at life or
yeah,
anything like that. So it's just like I think people like misconstrue that a lot, where it's just like I'm the head guy, so I know everything and I'm better than you, which is like a lot of guys do think that. It's just like, oh, I'm fucking whatever, purple belt, brown belt, black belt, I'm better than you at shit. And it's just like, dude, you're just a fucking guy. Like, chill the
yeah.
fuck out, dude.
That's good, man. That
Mhm.
shows how humble you are, dude. Real. That
Yeah,
shows how
well,
humble you are because sometimes when someone becomes your level of success, that mindset kind of shifts, right?
mhm.
And then they that humbleness isn't there. So it's good to see that you're still like that, man.
Yeah.
You didn't lose that. And you guys continue to grow, man. That's awesome. You guys have a lot of events with kids, right? Like,
Yeah, usually like our kids class has been really like picking up, and shout out to Luis, our head kids coach. Um, just I don't know, we just like so we started off at first. I did not want to do kids class. I was just like,
okay.
fuck this. I'm just gonna make a competition style room, whatever, whatever. But then I was just like, I could get more money if I had kids,
Yeah.
and so we started it, and then we only had to start off with I think like 14, 15 kids, and then we slowly grew, and we're growing now. We're to like, all right, we're gonna separate the kids, like split it in half, like all right, like whatever it
Nice.
was, like 8 to 15 or whatever, and then 5 to 8 or whatever, and then we split it again, so it's like we're in thirds now, and now we're adding wrestling classes, and now like I get more like enjoyment like watching the kids win, just because it's just like I'm watching them win at like 6, and then now I'm watching them win at 9, and
Nice.
it's just like just slowly growing up and stuff like that, where it's just like,
That's so cool,
and
man.
it's very like cool to like watch them like just boom, just hit like a double leg to like an arm bar or something like that, and it's just like you're just watching him like grow, and you're just like, fuck, dude, he's gonna be a fucking killer when he's like 15, 16, and he's only like whatever, like 10 years old or whatever it is now, whichever kid. And you're just like, this motherfucker's gonna beat me up. And when he's like 17, 18 years old, I was just, hopefully I'm bigger and stronger than this motherfucker to throw him down. But you just see it coming, you're just like super like pumped for it, Where it's just like, fuck, he's
Yeah.
gonna be a killer, dude, when he gets older.
Yo, that's sick, honestly, man.
Hmm.
And I'm that's awesome, man, that you became open to it, man,
Hmm.
because it sounds like it's only bringing growth to your gym, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I definitely like. At first, it was like I was like pretty selfish, where I was like, this is what I want. I just want adults. I don't want to have to deal with kids and blah blah
Yeah.
blah whatever. And then like I was like, dude, I need to stop being a fucking tool. I was like, I'll get the kids in here, and then we started doing the kids, and then now I'm just like, fuck yeah, for the kids. I'm super pumped about them,
Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
that's
weekend
cool.
this weekend they crushed too, and I was just like, I was like, it was like a happy like dad moment where I was just like, dude, they're fucking winning, dude.
Hell
And I
yeah,
was
let's
like, oh, dude,
go.
I was pumped up.
You guys heard Juan, man.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about putting your kids in jiu-jitsu, 10th Planet in Goodyear, you guys need to check it out. Honestly, jiu-jitsu and martial arts is going to be something that can build your child to someone that they would not become without it. It just builds, strength and the mind and the body. So 10th Planet in Jiu-Jitsu, guys, make sure that you guys check them out and allow your kids to have an opportunity for growth. I'm going to have to just run back that behind that camera one more time.
What did you do?
Just real quick, brother.
You good, dude?
I'm not going to stop it this time, but cool.
You going through still?
Yeah. Just want the peace of mind here because we got some valuable info you're giving me and it's not going to waste, man. So I was going to move on to this next one here. It's a little bit more connected to what the community. So, and competing. So, how do you balance teaching high level competition guys while still keeping the vibe and like that fun energy and welcoming for people who just want to get in shape or relieve stress?
Um, it's definitely like it would definitely be harder because there are some guys that just want to come in. They only come in like once or twice a week, and they're just trying to like, I just want to do something. And then there's other guys that are like, I'm trying to fucking be like the guy or whatever, and stuff like that. It's like it definitely is like you just have to give them like a little bit more like when we ever have like our games that we play. Like a lot of big thing in jiu-jitsu is like the ecological shit right now, which is fun. I like it, but I mean, I think there needs to be a balance with it because it's like you can get some new guy off the street and you can teach him those games and he'll start to figure it out. But there's also like you can tell him like the shortcuts and stuff like that with things, which I think that does help with drilling. So I think there's a little bit of a mixture, but with the guys that like been there and like they enjoy more of like that ecological games, because it's like I know how to do arm bars, stuff like that. So it's just like you can give like those guys more. So like I try to divide the classes where it's just like, all right, one day we might do like 20 minutes of just drilling and then 40 minutes of games, or one day we might just do all games and then one day we might just do all drilling. And it just depends. You kind of get the vibe of the room real quick. Like if I come in, I got a bunch of guys that are like purple belts, brown belts, whatever. Coming in, I was just like, all right, like you guys know how to do a lot of these moves that I've showed you already, or whatever it is we're going through, and we're gonna just play games because I know you guys know how to do these, and this is what's gonna help you get better. Where it's like white belts, it's like, all right, we'll start to do moves physically and then have a dialogue around whatever we're doing and stuff like that, and then just slowly pick it up, and then all right, once you guys kind of got a handle on it, then we're gonna play the games for like 15 minutes at the end of class or whatever. So it's just like I think it's a mixture of both. Like you really try to like figure out like what's, like Joseph Chen really talks about this, is like, all right, like if you figure out how to do the move like physically, then you need to like, all right, if I would do this, then what would you do next? Well, I would get an underhook right here. All right, if you get an underhook, then what would I do next? I would start going around your neck, all right? Then you would build up the front headlock, and you just start to figure out patterns and stuff like that, and you have the dialogue of what you guys are doing while doing it, and then so you're not going 100% full like speed, but you're going like 30-40%, and you're having that dialogue to figure out where you're going from one place to one place to one place, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's like the thing where it's just like a white belt will come in, and he's just trying to just get an underhook and then knee slice through. Like just to physically do that, like that's gonna be a 20-minute, you know, trying to figure out, depending on how athletic the guy is, environment, where it's like a guy that's been training for like 5-6 years, like he knows how to do that, but he's gonna do an undercut. You know, the bottom guy's gonna get an underhook. You're gonna go to the front headlock. All right, you're gonna learn to fucking head in the hole, spin around, get to the back, learn how to tilt him over, stuff like that. You know, where it's just like you just slowly build off, and like white belt's kind of like, I'm kind of like a dictator. Like this is what you're gonna do. Blue belt, I kind of like ease off the chain a little bit, and you're gonna get a little bit more creative. Purple, brown, you pretty much have like your game set in stone, and then like I might fix little things here and there, but you're gonna know like what your game plan is and where to move things. You know, at least that's my expectations of them. But for the most part, it's just like just let them like be creativity. White belts is like what I focus on, like where it's me coaching them. Blue belts, I'll get a little bit more like, all right, you're fucking up here doing, you need to do this, and that. Purple belts, brown belts, it's just like, all right, you guys know what to do. Like, let me just, all right, why are you doing this way? Oh, this is why I do it like this. You know, because I might do something where it's just like they might do something a little bit different. And I'll ask them why you do that. All right, well, this is why I do it. All right, cool. Like, if it works for you, then do it. You know. So I think it's just like a little bit of a balance. You got to read the room first off. Like if I get a bunch of white belts, we're drilling all for the next hour. You know.
Yeah.
And then we'll play a game at the end. But
man, that's what's up, man. So basically, yeah, it can be like every day can vary on what it's gonna look like at the gym.
yeah, so we always go through like 2-week blocks. So it's just like this week we just went through all wall wrestling. Next week we're gonna go through all wall wrestling. You know, and it's just like the first day it's just basic shit. Like, all right, guy double legs you, pull him up. What do you got to do? All right, this is how you pin them up on the wall. This is how you get off the wall. This is how you flip them off the wall. This is how you take them down off the wall. You know, just stuff like that. And then you just slowly get into like more of like, all right, we've been doing this for a week. You guys should know this. All right, we're gonna play a little bit more games. You know, and stuff like that. So it's just you get familiar with the positions for 2 straight weeks. So you're not like by the end of the 2 weeks, you should be knowing how to like do certain things. You know, whether you're, you know, whatever it is, what we're doing.
And you guys got some like top performing people at that gym, right? Like people who are higher in belts, right? Like
not yet. We don't have too many. Like we don't have any black belts yet. We have a couple brown belts, a couple purple belts, but we have got like guys that are competing and stuff like that.
Okay.
Just slowly growing it out, trying to build, you know, and like
you
I'm
got
very
purple belts, brown belts there.
Yeah, I got 3 brown belts right now, and then we have a couple purple belts, and then we got a lot of blue belts, and then a bunch of white belts.
Yeah. So I mean, 10 Planet is a place for any level of you know, for any level.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just gonna be high performing people.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a misconception I've heard about 10 Planet, that people are like, oh, there's only killers there. That they don't want to go. Like it sounds very welcoming. It's not that. It seems the opposite almost. Like you can start off there if you wanted to. Like
there's a lot of guys that started off there where it's like they've never done any jiu-jitsu, and then like usually like we get a lot of guys that came from other schools that come in, which is cool for me, and you know I'm happy about that. They come in with experience, and it's just like, all right, cool. But the white belts that come in that know nothing about it, you can just mold them into like whatever it is what we're doing, you know, at the time. And like some guys are going to gravitate to wrestling, some guys gravitate to leg locks or guard, whatever it is, you know. But it's just like it's a good mixture to have of like guys that are experienced and guys that are white belts to have. Because those guys that are experienced help out the guys that are white belts, you know. And then because I can't be everywhere at once, you know. So everyone's trying to help, you know, each other.
You guys work as like you guys do a lot of team effort there too to train.
Yeah,
that's cool, man. Well, man, you guys are doing well. It sounds like you guys are growing right now. So, I wanted to ask you here because I mean, time is flying by. Obviously, um, you've been doing this for a long time.
Mm.
So, if you imagine 10 Planet Goodyear 5 years from now, man, what's one big, pillar or, for example, a program, event that doesn't exist yet, but you're already planning to build?
Um, like the goal would be to build like a, not I will say a giant gym, because there's always been like a thing like in my head where I'm just like, you can get bigger as in like a big spot in a shitload of people, which is like would be good for us like financially. But then the quality I think goes down. So it's just like you look at like certain schools where they have like giant fucking schools and they have a million people, but they don't. I think it's harder to develop guys where it's like unless you like nitpick, it's like all right, this group of 20 guys that I'm gonna take, and this is the guys I'm gonna watch off, and the rest of the guys are just gonna slowly like whatever it is gonna slowly develop, and then other guys gyms where it's like you can stay smaller, but it's going to be a lot harder like financially and stuff like that, but you're going to be I don't know, because it's always like a thing where it's just like, do I want to get bigger? Yes, like I'm always going to have that, whether it's like with lifting it's always about like numbers and stuff like that, like all right, I want to hit this amount or whatever. So I don't know, it's always like a balance. So it's just like I always like think of like if I had the opportunity to grow to be gigantic, would I want to? Or and that's always like the struggle, like definitely like space, getting a bigger space is always like a plus, because then you can start adding more stuff, more like you could have 3 4 classes go running at the same time, which would be nice, stuff like that. But it's just always just like a quality to quantity thing. Because like when I look at like New Wave or B Team, they don't have a giant space, but they're the best teams right now, you know. And that's what I always kind of figure, like, do they purposely keep it not gigantic, or do they like I don't know if it's like a thing from them, which is something I always think about, where it's just like, should I try to emulate more of like that kind of style, or should I get like a giant gym like Atos or something like that, where they have like I don't know how many kids or people they have, but they have like 4 giant mat spaces. Or Atos was probably a bad one to mention right now, but all right, it was somebody else. But a gym like that where they just have uh just a larger gym where it's just
Yeah,
like you can have that many people, you know.
for sure, man. So it sounds like it's not for you to have a huge gym. You prefer quality over that quantity.
Yeah, I definitely want quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I could rush guys to like belts and stuff like that, which I always say that's what was like one thing that I was happy like when I went to John with is he doesn't really rush to give out belts. Like he was gonna fucking make you wait. Like if you want some shit, it's gonna fucking be a while. Like unless you're like just a destroyer. Like, cause even
Yeah.
like with Kyle, when John gave him a black belt, Kyle was fucking lighting people the fuck up.
Yeah.
And he still was just like, oh, you're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. And like Kyle was one of the best right now in his weight, but he still took him a while to fucking give him that belt.
Yeah, bro. Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I guess I need some water too, bro.
And talk a lot.
No, man. Thank you. Appreciate you, man.
No, but I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It would be nice to have like a big gym and stuff like that. But it's always just like, too, it's just like I want to be close to the guys that are at the gym. And if I have too many people there, like I can't be close to everybody. And I always feel like if you're going to come to my gym, I want to know you, I want to know who
Yeah.
you are. I don't want to be like, what's your name? What's your name? Like kind of not know them. Like I always felt like it's like an obligation of mine as a coach is like, I need to know everybody. If I'm giving you belts, stripes, well, for the kids, stripes, adults don't get stripes, but if I'm giving you a belt or like knowing you, like I want to fucking know you. I don't want to be like, what was your name? Like what going on? Like
Yeah.
I never liked that style. I wouldn't like to go to a gym that was like that.
Wow, that shows a lot, brother. You
Mhm.
have that personal connection with probably everybody there, huh?
I try to be,
Most
yeah.
people, because there's probably a
Yeah.
lot of people, and as
Yeah.
much as you can, you probably try to remember their face and name. And
Yeah, especially like
so,
when you come to like open mats, like a lot of the guys, like I know them, but I was just like, some guys will be like, oh, I was here like 3 months ago or whatever, and I was just like, fuck, like I remember his face, I don't remember his name, and like I
yeah.
feel so fucking bad about it because there's been a bunch of like growing up, like there's not growing up, but like going through like the belt ranks, I was like from white to now, it's like there was guys that own gyms where it's just like I've met them 3 or 4 times. I went up against their guys or whatever, and like I want to introduce myself, and they kind of like nah, whatever,
Yeah.
But then there's other guys that were like remember me at like from white belt to blue belt, white belt and blue belt era, and they've always been fucking nice to me, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
that shit like that sticks in your head,
It
like I
does,
said,
man.
and so it's just like those guys that did that, like I'm always remembering whether it was good or bad, like you always remember shit like that. So like when the guys come in, I'm always just very like try to be like cool as fuck with them, just
Yeah.
because it's just being a good person, I think, you know.
To your point, brother, like you said earlier, like we remember how others make us feel, man.
Yeah.
That's how you truly remember people.
Yeah.
That's so true, man.
Mhm.
And if you want to go somewhere where you're gonna feel great, is another great option is 10 Planets. So check him out. All right, man. So there's a lot of people. I mean, a lot of gyms, right? There's a lot of different jiu-jitsu gyms. It's grown a lot, right? It's big.
Yeah.
So if you could tell every gym owner in the Valley one thing about the mindset it takes to build a culture like yours, what would that be, man?
To be honest, that we're all in it together. I mean, that's the biggest thing is like when I have other like gym owners come over to the gym, like I try to be cool as fuck with everybody. Like there's no point because like a lot of like gyms try to like fight and beef and whatever. Not fight and beef, but they just have like shit between them or whatever. But I don't know, dude. Like as long as you're cool with everybody, like the whole thing is like what is it? You can track bees with more with like honey than you can vinegar or something like that. I forgot what the fuck the saying is, but it's just like just be cool as fuck with everybody. And we're all gonna like benefit from being cool with each other. But a lot of gyms are like very like nah, fuck that, you know, like, oh, if you're this, you can't come here, whatever the fuck it is. And which I always like, that was like a very like old school mentality where it was just like, if you're training with us, you can't go cross train with them or whatever. If they're over here, you can't come train with us, which is, it's fucking lame, dude. But
I agree, man.
but that's where like a lot of like, cause like I know like, Jacob from Aries will come through, a lot of the Phoenix guys will come through, Scottsdale guys come through, Little Skiles guys will come through, and so like we'll get guys from a bunch of different gyms where it's just like, dude, it's fucking jiu-jitsu, dude. It's not that serious. We're all play fighting, you know. It's like it's the lowest form of fighting, you know. It's not like we're not punching each other, kicking each other. We're just laying on our backs trying to leg lock each other or get up on top of each other. Like it's dumb to be like hyper aggressive in a sport that's very like the least form of fighting, you know. And it's crazy. But
because it's more like a calm, like it is obviously challenging to do it. Like rolling is very tiring, right? But it's like it's more of a calmer, like if you move slower and you're thinking, like it's better, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like aggressive, crazy, like you're gonna go hurt somebody. Like no, like from what I've seen, I trained at Sentosa Martial Arts with Edson. That's where I met him. He's been a great example, man, of just like moving slow. It's like chess, like right?
Yeah, because that's what's like, especially like with jiu-jitsu, because it's like if you can be old and still do it, I was like, you can, like, it's not that aggressive. Like, you don't see a lot of like 60-year-old like guys that are still like wrestling or Muay Thai or boxing and shit like that. Just because those are hard fucking sports to do. Yeah. Jiu-jitsu is very relaxed, you know. It's just like, I don't know, like for us to be like, nah, fuck that, we're tougher than that gym. It's just like, dude, it's so fucking gay, dude. And it's just like, why? Like, dude, like, jiu-jitsu in itself is extremely gay, dude, but like it's fun, you know. It's very fun, it's very stimulating, but it's like try to be tough at something that's gay is fucking gay. And yeah, I don't know.
No, I understand, man, because that positive energy really sets like something in people's brain. Like they'll remember that positive energy that they felt from you, and they'll remember the negative energy, right? So like it depends on your energy. If you want people to come to your gym, I think it's important for the main coach and the owner to have energy like you. So that's kind of why I asked that question, because I mean, I feel like most of the culture at gym owners and everybody I've been able to connect with is positive. So, and these are the successful ones, right? So sometimes, I mean, I'm not trying to, you know, point anything out, because I honestly haven't met a gym owner that has been negative and hasn't been able to succeed, but that positive energy goes a long ways, man, for sure. So
it's easy to do. Like I said, a lot of guys like neglect it, where it's just like, I don't know, dude. Like in my head, I was just like, dude, I could be at my old job, fucking waking up at like 5 in the morning, or waking up at 4 in the morning, leaving the house at 5 in the morning, working outside all fucking day, getting yelled at and shit like that. And I was just like, dude, fuck that, dude. I got the easiest fucking job. Like it's barely a fucking job. Like I wake up, I go teach a class for an hour, we roll for an hour, I go home, eat, chill, hang out, fucking come back, do the same thing. And like, dude, I have the easiest fucking job. And for me to like complain about shit, like just dumb shit, it would be like, I'd be like, dude, shut the fuck up.
You tell yourself? Like,
yeah, dude, I'm not fucking roofing right now, dude. Yeah. I'm not, you know, laying down concrete in July. Like,
yeah, that's wild. Was that your previous job?
No, I used to work at a prison. I was in Lewis and Buckeye.
Oh, correction officer? Or? Oh wow, okay,
Yeah.
man. So yeah, you went from that to being to doing this. That's
Yeah,
a big
that's
shit for
yeah,
sure.
that shit's fucking sucked, dude. Like going out like
Like 12
huh?
hours, like long
Yeah,
shifts.
I was
Yeah.
working 12 hours. Or not 12, I think it was 10. Yeah, it was 4 10s. Yeah, that shit sucked. Like fucking wearing a vest, fucking outside,
No
getting burnt the fuck
weapons,
up. Yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, for the most part, yeah, you get the pepper spray, and then
Oh,
if you're in the tower, you got weapons and shit like that.
okay.
But I mean, but it's the same thing. You just learning how to communicate with people is like the fucking easiest thing to do, and just
Absolutely, man.
it's the easiest thing to do, but it's also people just don't fucking do
People
it.
just don't
You
do
know?
it, man. They
Yeah.
neglect it, and then I mean, I mean, it might not show that it's affecting you, but in the long run, relationships might start decreasing, right?
Mhm.
Um, well, man, it's been great having you here. Just a couple other things I wanted to talk to you and ask you about. Because I think we went through this a little bit earlier.
Mhm.
But I have talked to people before who are on the fence of either allowing their kids to do it, to get in jiu-jitsu, or on the fence themselves, but they have that itch to really try it.
Mhm.
And I know you said like just do it, and I agree. Like honestly, if you don't do it, no one's gonna do it for you.
Mhm.
But what will you tell somebody who's like maybe asking you, and you see them kind of doubting themselves? Like, what would you tell that person if they're considering, going to your gym?
I mean, like I said, just do it. Like that's like the hardest thing. It's like the most basic thing you could tell somebody, in the most like I don't know, like easiest thing to do. But it's just like, but it is like intimidating. Like I said, like when you go to like a new place and you don't know anybody and stuff like that. But I mean, that's the hardest part, to be honest with you, is just coming through the front door. Once you come through the front door, it gets easier after that. Like, because it's all right, especially like hopefully whatever gym you go to, you have somebody that meets you there, greets you, makes you feel a little bit comfortable. All right, this is how we're gonna do things. This is what it is. Whatever, whatever. But that's
Yeah.
like the biggest thing. Like not even just at my gym, but just at any gym. Like just to go, don't like just like yeah, it's gonna feel weird and awkward. But I mean, no matter what, if you're starting a new job and you're going to a new place, like you're gonna have to meet new people and do things. It's the same thing. And like as soon as you get there, a week or two, and you start getting a little bit more comfortable, you start talking to people and stuff like that. So I mean, that's like the biggest thing is just walking through the door. Just know walking through the door is the hardest thing to do. And as soon as you do that, it gets extremely easier after that.
Absolutely, man. I
Mm.
like it.
Mm.
And honestly, when it comes down to, getting things done, nobody's gonna do it for you. So,
Mm.
just get out there, get yourself out there, allow
Mm.
yourself to be uncomfortable. So,
Yeah, and that's like the weird thing with at least like teaching jiu-jitsu now is because like I don't know the way like I grew up like playing sports and like the way like my dad is and like my tios and stuff like that, they're very like, oh shit sucks, oh too well, fucking get the fuck up and go do it. Where some people weren't raised like that, where I feel like that's like the another thing like as a coach, like I'm trying to like I have like a hard time with, where it's just like with me growing up, it's like that shit sucks, oh fucking well, just do it. Like oh well, like I'm not gonna cry about you being whatever 25 years old like to do something. Like fucking if you want to do this, then this is what you got to do it. Like that's very black and white, where like other people I feel like need to be like a little bit more motivated, or like coach like hey, you need to come in here, you need to do this is how we get better, and like talk to, which that's the part that I'm not good at as like a coach,
yeah,
and like I'm trying to like work on, as
absolutely, man.
the more I coach and stuff like that, where I was just like I don't know, because I've never been one of those guys where it's just like somebody comes up and like, this is what the fuck you got to do, and blah, try to hype me up and shit like that. I was like, all right, like show it to me then. And that's
Right.
like when I compete and stuff like that, or if like I'm in there rolling all the time, where it's just like I don't want to tell you guys to do crash out missions if I'm not gonna do them. If I'm gonna tell you guys if I want you guys to do ADCC, I'm gonna do that shit with you. If I want you guys to get better at wrestling, then I'm gonna fucking wrestle with you. If I want you guys to feel you guys rolling, then I'm gonna fucking do it too. And that's like one of the things that's like I think like I gotta set the what the fuck is it called? God damn, I'm
Set,
dumb.
yeah, I
So,
don't know.
like
Set
set
the
the
standard.
set the standards, set the tone, stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
I got to be the example to the guys. Like I don't want to send people out to do shit that I wouldn't do or haven't done.
yeah,
And sometimes it's even like with competing. It's like I don't compete that much like as I used to, but it's like I gotta still let motherfuckers know like I don't give a fuck about competing. Like well, I like to compete and I like to win, but it's just like I'm not competing as much as I used to.
right.
So if I want the kids, especially like with the little kids, like if I tell them, hey guys, it's not that big of a deal whether you win or lose, is that you compete, then they'll be like, well, why the fuck aren't you competing? And just like,
Yeah,
oh, I don't want to ever have that happen to me, where
yeah.
it's just like, you can't call me the fuck out for doing that shit, because I was like, I'm here, I'm doing my work. So if you want to fucking come in and you want to do that shit, then cool. Like if I'm gonna send you out to go wrestle, then I'm gonna wrestle with you.
Absolutely, man. And talking about competing, March 28th, ADCC is coming to Arizona, and
Hmm.
I know you're gonna be out there competing, right?
Yeah. So as for the last two that they came through, I was out of town for both of them. So a little bummed. So I was like, I want to actually like try to do the open and stuff like that, and just see how it feels like just with that rule set, especially like as I get older, like I just want to like feel like I know as I get older I'm gonna slow down with competing. Like I'm still gonna compete, but it's definitely slowing down. So I was like, I want to hit ADCC and see what that feels like, you know.
ADCC March 28th. You're gonna get the W, bro.
Trying to.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Sweet, man. Cool. Well, let's tell everybody where they can find you, bro. Let them know your social media. Let them know where they can find the gym.
Yeah, you guys can find us at 10 Planet Goodyear on Instagram, Facebook. We're at 425 West Western Avenue, Avondale, Arizona. Even though it's called Goodyear, we just moved. Suite G and H. If you guys want to come through, first week's free. Then after that, I'll sign you up.
Sweet. Anything coming up you want to share about? Anything? Any events?
We don't have any events or anything like that right now. It's just all about just trying to get trying to get ready for ADCC.
Yes, sir.
It's like the biggest thing for us.
Absolutely, man. It's a pleasure, brother.
All right.
I appreciate
Okay,
you.
man.
Thanks for being here, man.
Of course.